'Tis the night, Hector, 'tis the night.
I was not expecting you to start like that.
Oh, it's a Halloween special, Hector. Ooh, it's spooky. It's spooky. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a brand new scary episode. This is a scary episode, Hector. This is the most scariest episode we've had
I'm so scared.
of. Oh, I'm terrified of the Bento Boxcast. This is episode 22,
Yes,
if I'm
sir.
correct. Yes, sir. And of course, you guys already know this is the most animeist podcast of all the internet.
Mm.
Okay. On top of us being the most animeist podcast, we're also the most scariest podcast. All right. We
Ooh.
have jump scares left and right coming at you. We got psychological horror. We got all of it, just for you guys, because as you guys may not know, this specific podcast is our Halloween special. Okay, before everything else, this episode is coming out on Halloween Day, if I'm correct. All right, Friday's Halloween.
Yeah, as long as
Right.
it's the 31st, let me just, with the power of my computer calendar,
Check the computer.
the day before Halloween.
Oops, one day early. Yeah, who cares? It's Halloween Eve, I guess, right? So, anyways, like always, I am your co-host here tonight. I am your
Confidant.
I was coughing on sure when I was gonna say something Halloween related, but I can't think of anything. Whatever.
Your
I
count.
am I'm Count Dracula. Wah, hey, 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 hey. And by my side it is Hector the
Countess.
werewolf. Oh, okay. All right, or what? Yeah, sure. The Countess is my the Countess Hector. Hector. Wah, say
Blah, blah,
hi
blah,
to
blah,
everybody.
blah. Hello, everybody.
All right. So, just to let you guys know, okay, we are coming at you on all the platforms, on every single platform out there that you can listen to podcasts. We're coming at you from those. Of course, you already know it's on the Spotify, it is on the Apple Podcast. Okay, and of course, and if you guys are too good for those platforms, or you guys want to go ahead and go through those platforms, there's also the other platforms on Anchor.com. So we got you on that one already, guys. But enough of those guys. Enough of the audio, straight audio, because we we is
Mm.
on the main spot, the main stay, the main girl, the main big titty goth anime girl spot. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna keep saying that. YouTube.com, my dude.
Ooh.
All right, that's our main stay right there. Okay, guys. So on, that's right. So on YouTube.com, you can go ahead and listen and watch the podcast itself. Well, while the audio podcast is playing, you can go ahead and look at the most beautiful, the most iconic,
Mm.
the most top-notch logo around. Right? Look how pretty it is with the falling cherry blossoms from the trees. Right? Now, for sure, next year, Halloween themed. All
Ooh.
right. We didn't get it around this time because Halloween kind of crept up on us, right? Really quickly, Next year we're like, oh man, it's already Halloween, so we weren't all that ready for that. But for next year, you already know we're gonna go all
Mm.
out, okay? All out with all that decoration stuff. All right. Now, before we get into all the anime goodness we have here, all the scary, spooky anime goodness that we got here for you guys today, I want to let you guys know that yes, me and Hector here podcast. Yes, me and Hector here talk about anime and all this other stuff. But that does not mean you guys cannot. That does not mean that you guys cannot also voice your own opinions and what do you guys think and all that stuff. Because as always, all you listeners out there can always voice your opinions, thoughts. You can suggest us topics, what to watch, what to read, all that stuff, everything, all that. All you have to do, there's two ways you can do it. Okay? There's two really easy ways. Number one, you can hit us up on the Twitters, okay? At Bento Boxcast, that's the main Twitter handle, okay? You can hit up if you want to talk to Hector and I at the same time. Hit us up on there, okay? Hector has his personal Twitter, which is at ultra underscore the man. You can talk to him directly, or if you want to talk to me directly, that is at me talk anime. All right, so that's one way. Another way you can always get in touch with us, of course, is the comments here on YouTube. Okay, always read the comments, always checking out to see who's the person commenting, who's the next person commenting, all that stuff. We always keep an eye on that. And of course, my guys, do not forget, do not forget, do not forget. Go join the Discord. All right, we have a few people in there. We want every single one of you guys in there in that Discord. We want all you guys in there so you can share all the memes, all the anime titty pictures, so we can talk about everything, everything that's going on in anime in that Discord right there. Go ahead and join, guys. Can't wait to see you guys in there. And of course, don't forget if you enjoy what you listen to, if you enjoy this podcast, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets us know that you enjoy it. It lets us know that you like what you hear, you like what you see, and if if you enjoy it so much that you're like, you know what, man, I'm gonna listen to you guys every single week. I'm gonna check out all more of your stuff. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon notification, like bell thing, so you can get notified every single time we put out a new podcast every single Friday, just like today, right? So bring in the weekend with some delicious anime, this time spooky goodness. Okay, guys, go ahead and do that, man. Because you already know, man, we always give those shout outs. We always thank you guys for everything. And speaking about thanking the listeners, Hector, I want to thank them again this
Ooh,
week
and why is that, Rafa?
because, oh my goodness, oh my, should I say, oh my devil, oh my demon? Because it
Uh,
is Halloween.
let's be careful walking that double line, huh? I'm
Oh
not a big
boy,
fan of
oh
spirits.
no, dude. Oh, dude, I love spirits. They hang out with me all the time.
I'm never hanging out with you
Because,
again. Oh my god, guys, we're looking for a new
uh-oh.
co-host to the Bento Boxcast. I can't have this podcast be haunted.
No, it's already haunted.
It's chalked.
Like, it's shocked. Yeah, it's already over. It's over. But I want to give a special. Once again, man. I want to thank all you listeners out there, everybody out there who's checking out the podcast on all the platforms, but specifically because Anchor doesn't really give us that information on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. But on YouTube, oh my goodness, on YouTube, you guys are just popping off,
Jeez,
man. Episode episode 20 has 779 views as of right now.
which is
I'm looking at it
nutty.
right
I
now.
mean, dude, we haven't had a video hit, over 200, right? And then this one just, I don't know, we're just bursted through everything. And of course, that one might be going to 700, and 80 views, but also, we're seeing that we're getting love on other videos too. Like, for example, 21 that just came out, it has 67 views, which is honestly a lot more than we usually get. So even then, y'all still spreading the love over, over everywhere. So we greatly appreciate it.
Right, we could tell that you guys are checking out well the one video, whatever video that is, you guys are checking it out. You guys saying, let me see what else these guys are up to. So we appreciate the love. Thank you so much, you guys are giving us that chance, checking out what we're up to, checking out what we do here. So I hopefully you guys do enjoy it and let us know. Always we always take feedback, we always take criticism with open hearts and open minds. We don't take things like, they just talking smack. These guys, they hate, and like, no, we take this stuff very seriously. I know we joke around a lot and we crack jokes and stuff like that, but behind the scenes, we always trying to see what we could do to get better, what we could do to improve the podcast. So if you guys have any suggestions, any tips, any criticisms, let us know because you guys are we can tell by the numbers here that you guys are checking us out. You guys are listening. So if you guys feel like it could be improved in a certain way, let us know, man. We're all ears here. We're all ears, always ready to listen, to see what you guys got. So again, just thank you to everybody out there who's checking us out, giving us that chance, man. We love it. Love to see it. I just it's crazy to see just how many people are just just watching and listening, man. It's awesome.
I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, you said it all, man. And again, we sound like a broken record because we've been saying it for the past two, episodes. But literally, thank you guys so much. From episode 19 to now to even 22, I'm sure we'll get some great views with this one as well. So again, just once again, once again, and over again, thank you guys so much. Just like again, just to be broken records. Thank you.
Right. Now, so everything that we just talked about here, just right now with the Twitters and the Discord and all that stuff, all of it's linked down below if you guys want to go and check that out. Okay, you guys want to go see what we're talking about? It's in the description. We always make sure to put that in there. And before we get to all the spooky goodness, all the spectacular statements that we have planned for you guys today, I just want to give out a quick shout out to our boy Jay Josue. You know who that is?
Oh, you mean the main man, the S plus plus tier viewer? Literally the guy that most people wanna aspire to be?
Exactly. The commenting god himself. Josue, the one that holds it down in the comments, all right? This guy is always there, ready to let us know what is up, what he thinks, and all that stuff, man. It's awesome, awesome stuff. Now, he said here, really quickly, he said here. Now, this is referring back to episode 19, I think, where he asked us if we want to watch some K dramas, right? I'm pretty sure that is episode 19 where he put that
Yeah, he
comment
did.
out there. And and in episode 20, we said, yes, give us a suggestion. We'll check it out, right? So he says here, the K drama is King's Avatar. It's on Netflix. So there's that suggestion for
Ooh.
us. We'll talk about that a little bit more um, later on today. And he also gives us another suggestion. Now this is King's Avatar is the K drama he was talking about, but he also said here, also watch Blood of Zeus. It's on Netflix. Let me know how it is. Sorry for the homework, but it couldn't be easier. Lol. Now, Hector, I don't know if you know what Blood of Zeus is. Blood of Zeus is. But it is an anime on Netflix, and it
Huh.
just came out, and it deals with with Greek mythology. Okay. I saw the trailer a few days ago, and I was with Alex and John, and our friend Alex put it the best way. I feel like the best way he described it was that it's like if God of War had an anime,
Okay.
pretty much. So it looks really really cool. Like the trailer looked like action
Mhm.
packed, so we have, oh man, next week is gonna be
It's
packed.
gonna be a big one.
We have a really packed show. Yeah, because we have the K drama, we have the what's this then Blood of Zeus that we're gonna have to talk about. And of course, we have the anime swap over there, and so much. Oh man, it's gonna be a really packed show. But anyways, shout out to Josue for the comment, man. Thank you so much. Cannot wait to look into all that stuff, see what that's all about. And of course, guys, if you guys want to share your comments, go ahead. Like I said, comment down below. If not, hit us up on the Twitters. This is the section where we read it. So go ahead and get your shout out in. We'll let you guys. We'll shout you out, man. You know how we do. You know what we do up. You know how it is. So look at that. Oh man, Hector, we're a bit late. We're a bit late
We're
today,
late
Hector.
already?
Okay, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, a few minutes. All right. Anyways, the thing that I'm talking about here, guys, it is time for the spooky news. Ooh, ooh. zombie correspondent Hector. Hey, nice. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Nice. I like
I'll
it.
be honest.
Thank you for backing
No,
me
no,
up
no.
and not
I
just
got you,
leaving
brother.
me.
We
Uh,
here. We in the
thank you.
Zombie mood.
That was kind of funny to even do. All right, guys. Enough of this pitter patter. Enough of this chitter chatter. We're gonna get right into it because the news this week is. I'm not gonna lie, Rafa. You know when that term that people say chef's kiss. This week's
Oh,
news, honestly, I think is chef's kiss. I'm quite excited to talk about this one because there are two pieces here that I know for a fact are going to get some of our friends and some viewers out there quite interested in. And 100% I want to hear, from y'all that if you feel like interacting with us and kind of commenting down below, definitely let us know how you feel about these things because here are two very important things that I want to talk about, and also there's kind of something little bonus extra thing that I want to talk about. So we're gonna talk about the bonus one first because I want to be a little suspenseful. I want that what's that term? For like horror stuff where it's I guess it is literally just suspense, huh?
right.
Yeah, I
Suspense. Yeah,
wanted to build
I
up.
think you got
So
it.
essentially, the first news article that I have here is that the Animaniacs are going to be rebooting and they're going to be shown on Hulu. But here's the cool part about it. With the reboot, it seems like some of the episodes and just some of the stuff on the Animaniacs reboot is going to feature anime-inspired skits. Now, if you look at the trailer, if you even, dive deep into it and see that there are certain scenes where you get, the three characters of the Animaniacs, which are Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, sick names. They kind of go into
Hmm.
like this anime style during some episodes and just like little skits of it, which I think is really really cool because it's kind of just you know more people acknowledging and just showing that anime is so prevalent in today's world and like it's super super popular. It's in like the forward face of media. Like, hey man, check it out. This is anime is a thing. It's here. Everybody loves it, and it's all the craze right now. Um, and it's super sick just to see that something like the Animaniacs, which it's known for its goofy and iconic three characters and character design, and I believe their name is Brain and Stimpy, if I'm not wrong.
No, you are completely
What are their names?
wrong. It's not.
Brain
It's
and Pinky.
Brain
There
and
you go.
Pinky. Pink,
I can't
Pinky
remember
and the
Brain.
Brain.
I forget where I
Hey,
got
buddy.
Stimpy. I don't know. I forget where I got
Jesus.
Stimpy from.
From Ren
Okay, there you go. See, I
Stimpy.
got some stuff confused, but
Basically.
anyways, at least I got Brain right.
Oh,
Brain's the better character of
Jesus.
the two, anyways. Um,
No, he is not.
I know he's not.
You don't even know
Brain,
their
I know who
names.
Brain is. All right, I
But
used to watch
you,
the show. It's been a minute.
I'm pretty sure that you. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I was gonna say you're pretty sure you never
I
even
did.
watched the
It
show.
was a really old cartoon on what is it? It wasn't on 4Kids. It was on before that. It's not the point, man. The point is they're doing some anime stuff and it's cool, all right? I just wanted to talk about how like that's something that caught my eye on the news, but that's not really like the big important piece here. The important piece that I want to talk about, which I'm just gonna steamroll past anything you had to say that was against me.
Okay, cool. Thanks. It's not like I grew up
I was like
watching
steamrolling past
Animaniacs.
any of the negative stuff you had against me. I'm talking about we're ready for your input on the Animaniacs. Ah, exactly.
Oh, oops. Yeah, dude. I grew up watching Animaniacs. One of my all-time favorite movies when I was a kid growing up was this is just completely gonna like a left turn here, but it's an Animaniacs movie. It was called Wacko's Wish. It was a Christmas movie where they had to chase down a star like a shooting star for them to be able to make a wish, and like all the characters from the show are there, and um, it's a really really fun movie, and I it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It is a Christmas movie, and I know this is our Halloween episode, but um, no, yeah, I love that Maniacs, man. I grew up watching that show. Like it was, oh, man, I love it so much, and it's really cool to see. First of all, it's cool to see that it's coming back. First of all, for the new generation, for you young kids out here. including you, Hector. You guys could finally watch some of that good stuff from back in the day. And also, Steven Spielberg is producing, which is great because he was originally he was a part of the original run too. That's what made it so good. So it's really cool to see that he's back in it again. I don't know how involved he's going to be in with the new show, but his name is in the credits, so hopefully he does. He is pretty involved in it. Um, so it's no, it's really cool to see. Having a cartoon that I grew up loving and another social media or like anime and then them kind of fusing it together, having these skits and stuff like that. You see that a lot, in more recent times for sure now, where they have, Western cartoons, reference anime or have certain scenes that transition to that anime look and things like that. Like the other day, I was watching that South Park episode. I don't know if you saw it, but when the South Park kids they bought like a bunch of weapons from like it was like a
What?
fair or something like that. Like
No.
you've never seen that episode? Oh heck, you'll love that episode. It's an episode of South Park where I think they're having like a county fair or something like that. I don't remember the exact thing that was going on, but this guy was selling weapons like samurai swords and like ninja stars and nunchucks and things like that, right? And so the kids convinced the guy to let them buy the weapons because the guy was like, no, I'm not gonna let you buy these weapons without your parents around. And they're like, oh, we're orphaned. They just convinced the guy pretty much, right? So they have the weapons, right? And then they're like, oh, let's play ninjas, or I forgot what the name was, but like they're like, oh, as an example, right? I gotta remember the exact name, but like Stan was like, oh, I'm Naruto, and I have the nunchucks of victorious might or whatever, like like very anime stuff, right? Like I'm butchering the stuff they were saying, but like, and they will transform into like an anime version. Like they're all like super swole and like they're like anime characters and they're like fighting the other kids who have weapons and stuff like that. And then there's a song that plays out like just like it's like straight parody of anime, but like it's done. It was done so well and like a really funny South Park style. Like they're the four main kids were challenged by these four other kids, and they all like did the whole transition thing where they transformed into like their anime version of themselves and they start fighting each other and they're like pshaw, 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 like shooting lasers and stuff like that. And then there's a song playing in the background. He's like, dun, 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 uh, protect your balls, and like it's a really funny episode. If super side note on that, it's not just South Park, not just Animaniacs.
Yeah,
There's other shows have done it too. World of Gumball they did an
I do
anime
remember that.
scene too that was really cool. Trying to think what some of the other shows that I remember. I mean, of course, we have like Avatar and The Legend of Korra, who take like heavy, like inspiration from anime, or like the Boondocks, that also too. But I was trying to think more like shows that like don't have that style, but then they cut into a scene or to a skit that does that.
Hmm.
By the way, super super side note because we're talking about
Hmm.
animation stuff like that. Have you seen the SpongeBob anime?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I was not happy because personally, I am not a SpongeBob fan. I don't like SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob is dumb. And watching that anime thing, no,
You
like I,
never
I
like
liked it at the
you
beginning, right?
never like
And then it took a left turn after a few episodes, and I started hating it. Um, I don't remember exactly where I started hating it, but every time I look back on it, I just hate it. So I'm not a fan of SpongeBob at all.
well, growing up, I remember SpongeBob and I remember it was funny. Eventually, we always outgrow
Hmm.
like, shit like that. So I don't know exactly when I stopped watching SpongeBob, but
Hmm.
someone on YouTube, um, they did their own like
Yeah.
fan like episode of SpongeBob, and it's straight up a shonen anime, right?
Yeah,
Shonen, I'm using the correct term. Like SpongeBob is the main character, and then he has to go save Squidward because
the
he's
pickle
fighting the
guy.
guy,
Yep.
the pickle guy. I don't remember from that episode, and they're fighting over the secret formula, and then SpongeBob takes the secret formula and he goes into like the next form or the next like his next level. He's like he's so powerful. How could he be so strong? Like it's
It
just
was dumb.
it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. Like if literally like every single like beat and trope of anime, especially for shonen, it hit one after the other, and it's almost like it was like a love letter to anime almost. That's what I felt. Like I enjoyed it so much. Like for example, like Squidward sacrificing himself to fight the bad guy or whatever, and SpongeBob's like, how could you let him go and do that, Mr. Krabs? And Mr. Krabs like, you don't understand. That's something that must be done or whatever. And then as SpongeBob runs into Sandy and Patrick. Patrick's like a samurai, saying like, dude, like go ahead, like you know what needs to be done. So like just straight anime, just silly and goofiness, but it's like it's almost like it was poking fun of anime, but at the same time it's like you're like, yeah, this is what I like. Like this is the reason why I like anime. And yes, it's silly, yes, it's goofy, yes, it can be over the top, but like I would watch, and if they continued making that, I would watch it.
Okay, yeah, I definitely, like I said, I've seen the actual like anime thing. I don't, I think I've watched it in full, like the full episode or whatever that they had of it. I can't say I enjoyed that more than the actual SpongeBob show, but I kind of did think it was kind of dumb here and there. I did see the whole the shonen trope stuff there, and I'm like, all right, I get that, and some parts were kind of funny, but yeah. I've seen that. Actually, funny enough, Josue has tagged me in it on my personal Facebook account. And he's like, hey, man, like, check this out. And I'm like, hey, man, no. It's like,
You,
no,
it's
I've
good, man.
watched
You should
it. It's
watch it.
just like,
It's
I don't like, man, I don't like SpongeBob at all. Like, I just think it's so dumb. But that, I mean, that's just my
eh,
opinion, right? But I think the animated version by the fan made thing is really dope. Like, if we're just going off of like without me being biased and saying that I hate the show in general, like it's actually a really dope thing to do, and like the action scenes and the fact that it is the pickle guy is hilarious. So yeah, I mean just the whole situation was funny. Um, but I mean
yeah,
yeah, I mean other than that,
yeah. So
actually it's really cool that we're talking about like stuff that is crossing over with anime, because that ties in really well with this next article that I have. Because this one is actually really hypey, and here's why. So we've talked before. I actually gave it to Rafa as an anime swap about the anime called Vinland Saga. Now, if you don't remember, Vinland Saga was an anime about a boy who experiences a tragic situation and quickly has to adapt and
adapt.
survive in a Viking world, because it's set during that era and during that time period where Vikings kind of ruled the land, and Anglo Saxons and all that stuff. I just that's the first term that came to mind. And yeah, so essentially, Vinland
Nice.
Saga is, like I said, that anime, and it's really doing an awesome collab with Assassin's Creed. It's going to be doing a crossover manga that's going to be releasing sometime soon. I can actually get the time in just a bit. But what's really really cool about it is that Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is the newest game going to be coming out in the Assassin's Creed storyline, and just like just new consoles that are going to be coming out as well. So like it's going to be such a cool experience to play Valhalla. I personally am super excited for the game, and just to see that it's crossing over with Vinland Saga, which is an anime that I actually really love too. Like it's super dope. So kind of just explain what it is a little bit. It has Vinland Saga in general has kept a lot of fans on edge, ever since season 1 ended. But the thing is, the next big adventure that awaits him is going to be a crossover special with the Assassin's Creed game, and it's actually going to be dipping into Norse mythology and Norse mythos, just like Valhalla is going to be doing as well. So, according to the report by Ubisoft, Vinland Saga will be crossing over with Assassin's Creed Valhalla shortly. The upcoming game will be celebrated with a crossover manga that is available actually now. You can read the 7-page special over on Ubisoft Japan's website. However, here's the catch, guys. There is only a Japanese version comic available as of right now, as of recording. The special was penned by series creator Makoto Yukimura, and it covers what you would expect in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Follows the story of Eivor, I believe that's how you say his name, a powerful Viking. The manga shows what happens when Eivor meets Thorfinn on an expedition, and the crossover is actually really cool. It adds some flavor to the latest Assassin's Creed game ahead of its November 2020 debut. So, it's like just something really, really special. Unfortunately, you can't find the actual comic, the actual little manga in English, unless you kind of find one of those, I kind of want to say maybe pirated sites where they kind of translate it for you and things like that. But even then, the fact that it's a crossover between anime and a really, really, highly anticipated game that's going to be releasing literally next month, is really, really dope to see. I'm super excited for that, and I haven't checked it out personally yet, but I'm super excited to go see it, and maybe, just maybe, I might find an English version. Rafa, what do you think about that?
It's really cool to see, man. Like, I'm not a big fan of Assassin's Creed. You know, I I stopped playing. I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after the third one. Played a little bit of Black Flag, but which is the fourth one. But yeah, dude, like Assassin's Creed, they hurt me too much. So that's a series I'm not. You know, I'm not. I don't look forward to. I'm not looking forward to this one. I'm just like, nah, dude, I'm good. I'm good on that. But with my biasness to the side, it's really cool to see that they're doing that because uh, Vinland Saga is such a good show, right? It's action packed. It really looks into like how Vikings used to be and things like that. And of course, the next Assassin's Creed, like you said, deals with Vikings, right? So it's really cool to see that they took two things, and two different stories, two different, IPs in a sense, and they're gonna do like a crossover, uh, well, not an episode, but like a few chapters of manga and stuff like that. So, it's cool to see, man. I wish they would do some more of that, which we kind of know there is with something like, for example, like Cyberpunk, 27, 2077
Yeah.
or whatever their name is for the game. Of course, we talked about it in a past episode how Netflix is planning to do like a
Yeah.
TV show, right? Like an anime. So it is there is crossover there, with different shows, but it's when you see it, it's always cool to see because it doesn't always happen, right? You don't always get crossovers like these. But it's just, of course, it's just to build more hype for the game, things like that. Vinland Saga is, it's a loved anime, so I'm all about it. I'm all for it, yo. I want more of this, more stuff like this. Hopefully, next time we do it for a game that that I know that I'm gonna enjoy. But I'm not gonna hate on it. It's a cool way to market the game.
No, yeah, I mean it's definitely like a really cool way to market the game, and just in general, like people should know that like Vinland Saga is like a really beloved anime in general. And the manga itself is really, really popular and popping too. So like it's such a cool crossover that even I wasn't expecting. Um, I mean, kind of like if you think about it, it's like a perfect combo. Like Vinland Saga is literally a Viking
It is, yeah.
anime, and obviously it's more than that, but it's an anime about Vikings. And then Valhalla is literally, again, there's more to it, but it's literally a game about Assassin's Creed in the Viking era. So like it's sick. It's such a cool combo. On it really does fulfill its duty. Where it's like I'm super excited for both. Like I want to see more Vinland Saga, the anime. I'm kind of inclined to read the manga now. I have not. But I'm also super excited for Valhalla even more now just to see that they did that. Um, And yeah, and I guess it's time to talk about the big news article. Something that has been pretty much popping off all over my Twitter, all over, YouTube, all over these huge media sites.
Everywhere,
Exactly. And here's
all
why.
over
This
the
is the
internet.
biggest thing, and I'm going to just give you guys a spoiler warning right here. So, this is a spoiler for the latest Boruto chapter that just released, because I want to talk to Rafa, because I know he hasn't been caught up, but he does like Naruto, I believe. Rafa, right? I don't want to put words in your mouth here. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, he the
Yeah,
homie. All
I'm
right, all
cool with
right.
Naruto.
Now,
He's a
in
homie,
the
yeah.
latest chapter of the Boruto manga, we actually see that Naruto Uzumaki unlocks a new Nine Tails transformation. However, it is at a very high cost. One cost that some might say couldn't be any higher. And here's why. So, in the situation that we're seeing, we have Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke fighting one of the Otsutsuki members. And just to be even more like into it, so I'm trying to I did say spoiler warning, so here I'm teetering on the line there, but essentially they're fighting Ishiki Otsutsuki, which is one of two Otsutsuki clan members that came from outer space and landed on the Earth, or whatever. I don't even know if it's called Earth. Anyways, on the planet that Naruto and the rest of them live on, and essentially they come in pairs. And the thing is, as we all know, at the end of Naruto Shippuden, Kaguya was faced by Team 7, which is Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and was defeated by them. And let me not forget it's Kakashi as well. Anyways, so yeah, so the Ishiki seeks to grow the divine chakra fruit yet again, and this time use Boruto as the host for the Nine Tails, for the 10 Tails actually. But the thing is, the seventh Hokage decides that it's time for him to fulfill his duty as the Hokage and put his life on the line, and that's where we finally see Naruto go into his final form. And like I said, it's kind of at a very high price, or the cost of it is very high, because once Naruto goes into this form, Kurama straight up said that he's going to be dying. Like, this is like a one shot. This is a huge power up, power boost. This is his essentially his ultra instinct from Dragon Ball Z. This is his ace in the hole. This one time use, and once he uses it, he dies. And it could not come at a better time, because Ishiki Otsutsuki is quite literally the strongest foe that they have ever faced in any of the Naruto chapters, and past and present. So he is quite literally the strongest. So everybody is kind of just exploding with like, dude, wow, this is how it's gonna end. This is how Naruto dies. Because Rafa, let me kind of just give you a little bit of backstory too. At the beginning of Boruto, for the anime as well as in the chapters, you see kind of a glimpse of the future where Boruto and a bad guy. I'm not gonna say his name because it's even spoiling more of the story. A bad guy are fighting on top of the stone statues of the Hokages, and essentially the bad guy tells Boruto like, "Hey man, I'm gonna send you to where this to see the seventh Hokage," kind of insinuating that the seventh Hokage, which is Naruto, is dead. And it's kind of crazy just to see that people were kind of speculating how he would die, like what's going on. They couldn't believe that Naruto was going to die. And with this chapter that was left on a huge cliffhanger, we kind of see that, damn, like this might be it for the boy. Like the most one of the most beloved characters in all of anime might die in this next chapter that'll be coming soon, I believe. So it's kind of crazy to see that this is happening. And I mean, like I said, it has all of the internet, all of the anime internet in like a state of shock, because so many people love this anime, so many people love this character, and just it's finally his time. It's crazy.
It is insanity. You don't hear that. You don't see that. Like I can't think of another anime with such a fan base, with such a love of the character, say, well, yeah, it's time for him. We're gonna go in.
I'll be
Um,
honest, you kind of
I
cut
wouldn't
in
be
and out there.
surprised
So just kind of
though.
be a little bit louder and then just restart again.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Does that sound better now? Um,
It's insanity.
from where? Where do I start? Okay. It's insanity, honestly. To to have such a,
Mm.
like you said, to have such a beloved character, such a character, such an iconic character, and to kill him off. I can't really think of any other time where they've done something like that, you know? Some a character that's as popular as Naruto, right? Like it's like if they would kill off Luffy in One Piece, or Ash dies from Pokemon, right? I don't know. I don't see someone doing it. And I understand, and also I kind of understand though, like it's Naruto's turn, or Naruto's time on the main stage is kind of past already. Right now, it's following Boruto, his son. So I kind of get that. It's almost like it's kind of following the lines of JoJo. Now that I think about it, you know, in JoJo, Bizarre Adventure, which is an awesome anime, a lot of the times, the JoJo, whoever is that, whoever's the main character of the story, things like that, they tend to die pretty early. It's just part of the Joestar curse, right? Um, I think other than JoJo, I can't really think of any other anime where they kill off the main character, where you kind of like start to like, oh man, well, at what time are the main characters gonna start dropping out of the sky, right? Um, but even though JoJo is really popular, I feel like Naruto is even bigger than that, right? But Naruto's more worldwide known, even though JoJo's beloved. So, it's crazy. Now, the one thing that I'm kind of worried about, because I think it's cool that they're going to, they're going to this level, this far into it, saying like, okay, well, this is time to go, right? Um, it would suck if they backed out pretty much, right? If they didn't go through with it, they find, oh, something for this reason or for that reason, Naruto survives or whatever, it's I would definitely roll my eyes. So I'd be like, whatever, just you should have just, went all the way in. And I feel like they will though, even though I am kind of questioning it, because we've seen it in the same story done before, at a certain point in the stories, and should have been, where a lot of beloved characters did die, right? Like Jiraiya, someone I can think about like the top of my head. When I found out that Jiraiya died, I was like, wow, how are you gonna kill off Jiraiya, bro? Like, how are you gonna kill him off? And I feel like there's other people that I'm missing. Who else died?
Itachi
Naruto.
died. Oh well, super spoilers, guys. By the way. Itachi died. Who else died? A lot of the no, a lot of the Akatsuki died. Oh, Nagato died, and what is it? It's
Oh, the what's his name? The guy that trained got the kid with the shadows
oh,
powers. I forgot his name.
Asuma. A lot
Asuma.
of
Yep,
popular
he
fan
died.
favorites
He was
died.
cool.
Essentially, is what Rafa's trying to say.
Right. The biggest one that I can,
Yeah,
the one that
definitely.
shocked me the most was when Jiraiya died. Jiraiya was that boy, and so pretty much my point is that like it's not like this isn't new, kind of like they've done this before when they killed off big characters. But this time they're killing off the biggest character of the whole show, right? So it's like taking it to somewhat of an extreme. But I would it would I would have they would have more of my respect if they actually go through it, if they don't back out,
Yeah,
which
I
I'm
mean
worried
they
they
kind
will
of did
back out.
a similar thing with like Might Guy, where like he went into like the eight gates. I want to say eight gates of youth, but that's definitely not what it's called. But essentially, like it's like a transformation, right? Where it's like do or die. Once he goes all full eight gates, like that's it. He's gonna die afterwards because the body can't handle that much power. But Naruto, I don't know where it comes in and just saves him. But he's kind of unable to walk anymore afterwards. So he, I mean, yeah, it's kind of I
Which
don't know. It's kind of a cop out, but I don't know.
I mean, even with that, I feel like that's not really a cop out though, because
Mm-hmm.
my guy still suffered consequences afterwards. Like you said that he can't walk anymore, that he's permanently handicapped. Um, which is I don't want to say which is cool, but like it shows that like
Yeah.
things are at stake here. You know, which is what makes a story, especially something like with Naruto or like an action show, which it makes it that much better. Where when things could actually be lost, where you know that
Mm-hmm.
this is actually for real. It's not just, oh, they'll be fine next week, or oh, they'll just walk it off or whatever. So like with my guy, yes, he didn't die, even though they all said that he was gonna die, but because Naruto was able to save him, but he still suffered a consequence. He still, because of the actions that he took, his life has changed pretty much forever, right? So, well, I wouldn't fault him for that because that's still pretty cool, I guess I would say, even though I didn't want to say it's cool, but um, again, it just makes a story that much more impactful when your characters don't feel like they have plot
Oh
armor.
yeah, I know
You know,
plenty of
you know
that.
what plot armor is? Right. So that's another thing that I don't like. I don't like when characters have plot armor. For those who listening don't know what plot armor is, it's pretty much is a character or a set of characters who they might get in situations where it could be life or death, or they could have injuries and things like that, or for whatever third reason, right? Of them getting hurt or whatever. But because they are part of the story, because they're part of the main cast, or because they're needed for whatever reason, they they make it out of the situation okay or fine, or by the skin of their teeth or whatever, even though honestly they should have not made it out of that situation, right? So that's what plot armor is. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. I hate stuff like that. Like, that's why I really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Kind of going back to that is because a lot of characters die in that show, and it's I really don't think they have that much plot armor. Doesn't really exist that much in that series, even though you could make arguments here or there for certain characters, but for the most part, a lot of people tend to die in that show. A lot of main characters tend to die in that show, so that's what's cool about it. So yeah, man, we just gotta wait and see, man. Let's see if they actually
Yeah, I
go
mean
through with
it's
it.
gonna be a crazy time. I can't wait for that chapter to ever come. I'm pretty sure this fight scene is gonna be happening throughout this next chapter that's gonna be coming out, and then probably the one after is when we might get the conclusion, might not. Um, Regardless, these next few chapters that we're gonna be getting from Boruto are gonna be insane. I honestly can't wait. I know there's usually like a 2 week break in between, so I'm super hyped for the next week that it comes out. So looking very forward to it. And yeah, I mean that's essentially the biggest news that we've had this past week. Since the last episode of the Mental Box Cast, and pretty much all I have for this news segment, even though it's been quite a lengthy one.
Yes, it has. Um, Ooh, thank you, Hector, for the news. What a spooky news segment that was. I was terrified the whole time. So, as you guys know, listeners out there, it is, as the time of this recording, Halloween time. The spooky of the spookies. The witches are out. The ghosts are ghosting it up. Okay? The demons are lurking. All the bad stuff. All the bad, scary dudes are out there. Right? Godzilla. I'm pretty sure he's out there doing something. Dracula, like we said earlier. You know. Jason's probably killing
I got
somebody.
one. I got one. I got one.
Bunch
Ready,
of
ready, ready?
stuff. A lot of stuff's going on right there. A lot of spooky
You're
stuff.
getting ghosted
Go
even
ahead,
more
go
through
ahead.
text because of the time. It's not the girl. It's the ghost interfering.
There you go.
Ooh.
You're getting ghosted by a ghost.
Or a guy.
Not just by a girl, but a girl ghost. Or a guy. Yeah, sure, why not? But anyways, speaking of spooky stuff, okay. Now I myself love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I love all the spookiness. I love all the scariness. All the skeleton boys out there. All the pumpkins, the jack-o'-lanterns, and all that stuff. Um, and of course I love horror. I like watching scary movies. And they have to be good though. They can't just be like those cheap scary movies. I don't like those. But I like good scary stories. I love good Halloween stuff, right? When people actually take their time and work it. Not just a jump scare. Jump scares are cheap. I'm not a big fan of jump scares. I like being scared for reals. Okay? Now, Hector
I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm just gonna
is
say
not a
the
big
word.
fan of this
I don't
stuff,
even
I
care.
feel
I know
like,
we're
right,
trying to be
Hector?
more PG friendly towards everybody, but I'm a big ass bitch when it comes to scary shit.
Aye,
No,
aye,
I gotta
aye.
be honest with
You could just
everybody
think
on the
that
on the
you're,
pod. I gotta be honest with you, Rafa. I cannot. All right, scary stuff is not in my DNA. I jump scare incredibly easy. My heart palpitates quicker than you could imagine when it comes to scary stuff, and yeah, I just can't take it. I'm that guy, right, that has like a beanie or a hat or a sweater or something and covers half my eyes. Like I cover half my face when I'm watching scary stuff because I can't take it and I need to be able to quickly cover my face. Uh, so yeah, a shout out to John who was with us at one of our high school movie nights type thing, and he knows what I'm talking about because I'm pretty sure I covered half my face with a beanie that night. Anyways, yeah, me and scary stuff do not mix. That is not in my DNA.
So me and Hector cannot be at more
Uh-huh.
opposites here, right? Polar opposites, right? I love Halloween. I love scary stuff. Hector hates it. He can't stand it. So, and of course, this is our Halloween special. So, what do we have? I have for you guys today, and for Hector, if he's willing to get spooky with it. I have here 6 suggestions, 6 anime recommendations that are on the spooky side, they're on the horror side. Why 6 and not 5? Well, Hector, 6 is the number of the beast. Ooh, ooh, hee, 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 hee. So, we can start off. I have some really good suggestions here for you, Hector. Some really good ones. Um, I feel like number 3 is one you're gonna enjoy the most if you do decide to check it out. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Number 1, okay, it's the when you think of horror anime, I feel like this is one of the first ones that people always bring up. But that's a good reason though. Okay, it's called Another.
I
Have
feel
you heard
like I
about this
have.
anime,
It
Hector?
sounds familiar.
hmm Well, if I would have to recap it in a very simple way, it is uh, the final destination of anime.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture
Have
Final
you seen?
Destination anime.
Ah,
It's
geez,
kind of
so I
wild.
I feel like I feel like I'm dating myself here. But do you know what Final
Yeah, I
Destination
know what it
is?
is.
The movie? Okay. For those out there who are listening who don't know what Final Destination is this well, it's a series of movies, but But I'm talking about the first one, just to kind of do it simple. It's about this movie about these guys who are on an airplane, right? I think it was an airplane. They're gonna go take a flight, but then one of the guys had like a vision, like, oh man, we're all gonna die, and he starts freaking out. He's like, yo, we're gonna die if we stay on this plane. So then they kick him off the plane, and a few others get off the plane with him too. And then the plane blows up, right? So pretty much what the movie's about is like, hey, death is pretty much coming after these guys who were supposed to die on the plane, but because of the situation they got in, they were able to get off the plane. So death is going after one at a time, trying to kill them, in very crazy and wacky ways. Like it all looks like accidents, pretty much, right? Like one gets hit by a train, or well, they're gonna get in a car crash, or I'm trying to think. Like this is one lady, she somehow I think she was like taking a bath or something, or in the shower, and she somehow ended up
What
hanging
the
herself.
hell?
Like just like yeah, like okay. Have you seen like? It's another good example. Have you seen those videos on YouTube where the guy hits like it has like a lot like he has the like a ball. He touches the ball and it rolls off and it hits one thing and then the one thing hits another thing and it topples over a bunch of other things and just like a chain of events of
Yeah.
reactions. You get what I'm saying? It's pretty much like that, you know. So like I remember I don't know if this is the first one or maybe the second one, but I remember Final Destination, the movie, where like these girl I think it was with one girl, I think it was one girl or two girls. She got into like a tanning salon, right? So she
Hmm.
got into like those big like tanning beds, and she closed it, and she like as she was closing the lid or the to get inside, she accidentally knocked something over, and that rolled over and knocked something else, and a chain of events of things getting knocked over ended up having her trapped inside the tanning bed, and she was burned alive.
Jesus.
That's how she died. So it's like that. So it's like a bunch of like different events or like just small little things here and there happening, and then next thing you know, the person's dead. So, anyways, that's what it is, right? The reason why that I say another is the Final Destination of anime is because it's a little bit different, although the kind of the premise itself. Um, they if pretty much is they're saying like there's a in this classroom pretty much they have to ignore one kid of the class, right? They have to pretend the person's dead. Because if I forgot if they don't do that, then the curse gets activated again or whatever. I think that's it. I think
Hmm.
that's like the essence of that pretty much, right? Because apparently one of the kids died a while ago, or something like that, right? But that's not the point. That's not the point of the show. I mean, it's the story, but like, you're really there just to watch the kills. Like for example, one of the kills early on was this girl who was running down the stairs with an umbrella, and then at the end of the like the top part of the umbrella, when it like on the outside,
Yeah, yeah.
it had like a pointy. It was like a point to it, right? So she trips and falls down the stairs, and the umbrella goes like into her mouth. So like she stabs herself with the umbrella, and it goes through her mouth and comes out through the back of
Damn,
her
it went
head.
that deep? What the hell? That's a lot
Yeah,
of
well, she
force.
fell down a flight of stairs. She fell a flight of stairs. Yeah, and it penetrated her mouth. It came out of the back of her head, and then the umbrella opened up. It was like a bunch of blood everywhere, and yeah. So stuff like that happens with these characters. Like there's another lady who got in the elevator, and then the elevator just dropped, and she just like it just dropped like floors, like that
I
fear of
do
like,
have that
oh man,
fear,
hope
so
this
yeah.
elevator doesn't disconnect. Yeah, so that happened to one of to one of these people, and like the elevator hit the ground, and she like literally went splat on the floor, right? So, um, this is good anime. If you like watching people die and crazy, wacky ways where it's not just like a monster or a ghost tearing them apart or a demon or whatever. It's just watching them kind of have these insane accidents, Final Destination. This is the show for you. It does have. It's not just that though. It also has like creepy elements to it. There's like these creepy dolls and imagery, stuff like that. It deals with ghosts and this curse and stuff like that. So there, yes, the main for me at least, the main draw was the kills, but also there is a pretty cool story there uh, adding to the kills, and there's a pretty cool twist at the end. Not gonna talk about the twist at all, but it's like you really don't expect that twist at the end, especially the reveal of like, oh, it's this. You really don't. I didn't see it coming, so. Uh, if that's what you want to get into, you want to see some gory violence with a mix of ghost activities. Another is a good one for you. Um, Moving on, number two. It's called Corpse Party. Now, this anime is if you like seeing people get mutilated and torn apart by ghosts and demons and stuff, this is the show for you. Because pretty much what happens is like this group of kids, they you like those urban legends of say like, oh, if we
Yeah.
see this or we do that, something's gonna happen. Pretty much, right? Like for example, like for us, we have like Bloody Mary, right? Or Candy Man. If you go into the mirror, you say Bloody Mary 3 times, she shows up, or Candy Man, he shows up, right? So they were doing one of those things, like an urban legend type thing, right? So they do it, and they get transported into like almost like it's almost like it's another world, but like they're like inside this school, like a grade school pretty much, and they're trapped in there and there's these ghosts and these spirits
Hmm.
pretty much hunting them down, right? And then they have to figure out how how to escape in a sense, right? They just have to figure out how to get out of this situation that they pretty much got themselves in, um, and the 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 way these people die is gruesome. It, it's a what I was talking about like like it's like they said, oh yeah, that's cool, let's turn it up to 20. Like people are getting like legit like the people are like exploding, people are getting their eyes pulled out, people are getting cut open as they're alive, like gruesome intestines are flying out, like nasty, like gory stuff. And it's not just them like, oh, I slipped and fell, I'm dying now. Like no, it's creatures, it's these monsters out there who are hunting them down, these ghosts, these avengeful spirits in this school who are just trying to mess everyone up, whoever shows up, because the story. So they have to figure out how to get out of this, and no one is safe in this anime. Okay, they introduce, I think it's about like 5 or 6 of them. I can't remember the exact number but yeah, eh, don't expect everyone to survive. I'd say it like that. This is one of the ones that from my list. This is ones when I watched, I was like, man, this is pretty messed up. Like it was pretty gruesome, some pretty gruesome stuff there. Like I was like, man, I would be, I don't know what I would do if I was stuck in there, and I think I would just kill myself. I don't know. Like it was pretty crazy stuff going on in there. Like especially the way some of these kids died, man. Like bro, they didn't deserve it. They did not deserve the way they got killed in that show. But hey, it happened. So it's there. If that's something you guys want to look into. Corpse Party is another really good anime for you guys to watch for that gory, scary Halloween ghost stuff, right? Now, number three. Now this is number three. is it's going literally to the complete opposite of everything else, Hector. And I feel this one you would enjoy a lot. Okay. Number three is called Ghost
I think I have. I'm pretty sure I
Stories.
just saw it
Have
pop
you
up
heard
on
about this
my
anime?
maybe on one of my like anime feeds. I forget which one it was. Maybe Crunchyroll. I don't know, but I definitely have seen it.
Okay, I feel like you have it because this is. I feel like you're getting confused with something else. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I feel like you're gonna out of all these anime, I feel like this is the one you're gonna enjoy the most because this anime is
Okay,
actually
that's
not
definitely not
scary
the
at
one I was thinking
all,
of.
even though it has to do with ghosts. Yes, the reason that I have this on my list. Okay, let's say you're watching a scary movie, you're watching some of these scary anime that I'm talking about today, and you need a break from all the spookiness. Go ahead and throw on ghost stories. Okay, so really quickly. A little story time about the production of this anime. When it was brought over here to the United States to get their English dub, okay, watch. Okay, let me back up a little bit. If you're gonna watch ghost stories, only watch the English dub.
But you know I
Okay,
hate
Hector.
English dub, Rafa.
Let me tell you now. Let me tell you. Okay, if you're not gonna
Ooh,
watch the English dub of this show, then don't watch the show at all. Okay, the English dub is the reason why this show is on my list. It is the reason why Ghost Stories is a cult classic, is the reason why people still talk about this show. Back in the day, when the show was being brought over here to the United States, to the Western Hemisphere, when it was being localized for us English speaking folks. I don't remember the exact details, but pretty much what ended up happening was that the voice actors had all the freedom to say
wow,
whatever
that
they wanted.
does not make
And it
any
went
sense. That
into the
sounds kind of
show.
sus.
And it is hilarious. It is some of the most funniest things I've ever seen. It's literally the anime show. It's like, for example, okay, have you seen? Remember when they have like on YouTube they have like those abridged anime shows where like, YouTubers take they just put their voice over like the characters and they say, "Oh look, I pooped in my pants," or just say
Um,
stupid stuff like that. You know,
can't say I've
they
I've
make
heard that
like
exact
jokes and
line, but
stuff like
yes.
that. Right, but you know what I mean, like the abridged, like One Piece abridged, Bleach abridged, stuff like that. That's what it used to be called. It used to be really popular back in the day on YouTube. I don't see it around anymore, but it was a big thing back in the day on YouTube where people would take episodes of anime and they would just put their own dub over it of that, and they're just them cracking jokes and stuff like that. It's like that, but if a professional, but if it was done professionally, pretty much. Dude, they say some funny stuff. Like it's literally the opposite. It's literally one show is like, okay, it's ghosts and it deals with them, trying to, you know, tracking down ghosts and this and that. But like, dude, oh my God, like one of the characters is a homophobic religious nut.
Hmm?
Like throughout the whole show, yes, throughout the whole show, one of the characters, she's just saying a bunch of shit. Like, she's saying stuff like, "Oh, Jesus will save us," and like, "Oh, if you're gay, you're going to hell." Like, I swear, there's straight up like lines
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
And dude, it is funny. Yes, like when I'm trying to remember some of the lines they were saying, but like another one be like they'll be talking about like, oh, we have to go chase down the ghosts, and be like, oh, I just peed my pants. They're like, oh, shut your mouth, like literally just like they literally improv the whole show. literally improv the whole show, and it's some of the most funniest things I've ever seen in anime.
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sounds like a wild anime.
It is, yes, like the original like Japanese run, like
Hmm.
it's not wacky, it's not silly like this, like it's an actual show about these kids, hunting down ghosts or whatever. But again, I wish I had more details. I should have looked into
Hmm.
it more to have more of the details of why that happened. Um, but for whatever reason, the English dub, like these literally these and these are not just like people off the street. Like you will recognize some of these voices. Like, oh, I've heard this voice before, and so and so animated. Or I heard this voice in this anime. Like these are professional voice actors and actresses, and they're just goofing around, saying a bunch of dumb stuff, and sometimes you can even hear them laughing in the background. Like a it's just a fun ride. Just that it's just a really fun anime, which like it's something that you've never seen, something you've never seen before, and something you never see ever again. And just so happens to deal with ghosts.
It just happens to do with ghosts.
So yeah. So I would honestly like that. I would say just check it out. Like I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. If not, you can like if it's not full episodes on YouTube, you can just look up like certain like clips or scenes from
Hmm.
that's on YouTube. I know for a fact that's on there at least, just to kind of get an idea of what I'm
Okay.
talking about. Like just when you get a chance, just to look it up. And if it's something you're interested in, just go ahead, man. Like I said, it's a wild, goofy, wacky ride. Just some of the things they said, and like, dude, the stuff they were saying, it's just like I'm telling you, it's just some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And that's how they put it out. They put it out like that. Like that went out for release like that. They said, yeah, like whatever,
That's
we're
the
just gonna
stuff
put
that I
this
don't
out.
understand though. Like that's so wild if
So
you think about it.
no, it's crazy. But yeah, that's kind of like my oddball
Here's a random
addition
pick
in
of the Halloween
the
litter.
in my picks here. Um, Yeah, it's a fun pick. Like if you're looking for a good laugh, if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, that's not just, ghosts and monsters and people dying and gore and stuff like that. Ghost stories will be a really fun pick. You have a good time watching the show for sure. Um, excuse me. Moving on from that, I have this show called Yamishabai. Japanese ghost stories. Hopefully, I said that right. I might have butchered it. This show's been going on for years actually, and it's a anthology series. So each episode it has a bunch of little short stories, a lot dealing with with yokai and like mythology and things like that. A lot of stuff, a lot of like the culture, like the ghost, like with dealing with the ghosts and stuff like that. Because I don't know if you know this, not I don't know if you know this Hector or not, but Japanese culture has a lot of I don't say influence, but like they have like a bunch of like stories on like different type of creatures and ghosts. Like it's just part of their culture, right? That's what the yokai term comes from, right? And this is what the Junji Ito collection wanted to be. That's the way I feel about this. Um, the Junji Ito collection was, I don't know if you know, but you guys know I love Junji Ito. He's my main man. I love his stories. They took his work last year. I think it was last year, 2 years ago, and they put it into an animation. They made it into an anime, so each episode was a different. It was an anthology series where each episode had about three stories or so, just works from Junji Ito. And it sucked. It wasn't good. What this show does, it doesn't follow just one specific artist, or one specific creator. It's just ghost stories that just have been told over the years, right? And it's some really creepy stuff. I've seen a couple handful of episodes of this show, and at a certain point, I was like, okay, I can't watch anymore.
Wow.
Like it freaked me out pretty much. Like it's some really, really good stuff Really good stuff. Yeah, it's like it's like kind of
Okay.
like a motion comic almost, like the way they move and stuff like that. Um, but it gets the atmosphere, like it really gets to you. Like it's not like it's not like you're getting jump scared or anything like that, but like the creepiness factor. Just watching and listening to the stories and just some of those stories kind of stick to you afterwards. Like it's a really if you want to get really creeped out and you don't want to sit through if you and you don't want to invest into a story, something like another or Corpse Party, you want to sit there for 12 episodes just to see how the story concludes or whatever. If you just want something more digestible, something more quicker, like hey, let's pop on, let's watch an episode or two of this. In each episode, they're all gonna have their own separate stories. So you're gonna get a nice dosage of scariness without having to really invest into a story itself. So really good stuff here. Like this is a very I wouldn't say underrated, but for sure overlooked. I don't see a lot of people talking about this show. Um Compared to like another, right? Like the anime another. But this it's as scary, if not scarier. So it's a
Hmm. Okay.
really good
Okay.
show, man, for the spookiness. So moving on from that, I have number five. It is called When They
Ooh.
Cry Higurashi. Okay. Now this is an older anime back in the day. I think 2006. I think. I might have my date wrong, but I think if I'm correct, they are re either they're I think they're redoing the anime in this season. Like, I think they're like retelling the story again in this season. So I don't think it's a continuation. I think it's just a retelling of the story. So it's really cool to see that they're doing that. But this anime, it is bonkers crazy because you think it's gonna go one way, and then it does something else, and then it does something else, and then it takes another left turn, and you're just like, what is happening here? You just it takes you for a trip. So pretty much is this kid, this guy who ends up meeting a certain group of characters in the story, and they're like, oh, cool, like he has friends and stuff, and then slowly but surely things start becoming revealed to him about the truth about the town, the truth about these characters, and how crazy bonkers everybody is. And he is, in a sense, he's stuck there. I don't want to give too much information about this show, just because how crazy the show gets. Like, you seriously, like, when you're starting off watching the show, you do not expect it to go where it goes. You don't expect this show to get as crazy as it gets. So I don't want to give out too much information. I want, if you do decide to check out this show, if any listeners decide to check out the show, I want you guys to kind of, I won't say going blindly, but the less you know, the better. The the more you will experience the show, hands down. This is one. It is violent. It is gory, also, but it also deals with like psychological and like craziness and just it is a wild ride. Like that's like I can't. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's. I wish I could say more, but I don't. I don't want to. Again, I don't want to give out too much of this show. But it is. If you want to get into some like legit, just like insanity, like horror insanity. Like that's the if I would have to describe it in 2 words, as be horror insanity. I don't know. Like it's bonkers crazy. It, this is the show that I would for sure. It's if people put this show on their top like scary anime, like this show always shows up. This show is like a cult horror
Ooh.
classic in anime. Like this, be, yeah, this is some top notch stuff right here. I haven't seen the. Uh, I'm pretty sure it is a remake. I haven't seen the remake that's airing right now, but I am gonna check it out too. So see how that goes. And pretty sure I'm on number six now. Last but not least, Hector, you actually know the show. You actually seen the show, and you actually know more about the story than I do. Number six, and I don't know, I don't know if you agree with me, but I'll explain myself why I have number six on here. It is it is the
Ooh, this
Promised
is a good one.
Neverland.
I stand behind this one, guys.
Yeah. The main reason why I have Promised Neverland on here is because spoilers. I'm spoiling it right here. I'm gonna get into why I have this on here, and I can't get into it without talking about what happens in the show. So the reason why Promised Neverland is on here is because just the if I would just have to break it down to the most simplest reasons why, it's just because of the hopelessness that you feel watching this show. Okay, when I was watching this show, I'm sorry, the horror, the feeling of horror and hopelessness. Okay, like these kids are stuck in such a messed up situation, stuck in in this world where everything that they know is a lie, and how are they going to get out? How are they going to be able to manage and live a normal life? How are they going to be able to survive? That's what got me with this show, and it's a great show. And I'm trying to put my words together here. Oh, and I feel like it does have like a thriller element, kind of like an action element to it also. But at the end of the day, I would consider this horror, if not have very strong horror elements to it, because of the situation they're in. These kids are raised to be eaten by demons, and that's it. They're literally farm animals. They're literally little piglets being raised to be eaten by these monsters. Okay, and it's not like they're in some backwoods away from the city or away from other humans where they could run to and be like, hey, please save me. Like, no, this is the world they live in. Them, these kids are told, hey, you guys are orphans. Hey, by the age of this or whatever, if you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be adopted into a family. Oh man, isn't that great? Oof, look at that. They're gonna have a family, they're gonna go and live happily ever after. Wrong. What happens is that it, once the monsters or whoever's in charge of them feels like okay, they are at the most ripe they can be, they're ready to be eaten, they get quote unquote adopted, and then they get sent off to be devoured by these monsters. Imagine that. Imagine that, Hector. You are a 8-year old. Imagine how you back in the day when you were eight, Hector. Imagine being told that you're an orphan and you're gonna be adopted. That the adoption day is here. It is, you're gonna go today. Your parents are right. Your new parents are right on the other side of that gate. You have your things packed up, ready to go. Yes, it's sad because you're saying bye to all your friends, but also you're happy and you're hopeful for a brand new life with with a brand new loving family. As a kid, you're excited. You're like, yes, I'm gonna have a mom and dad. I'm gonna have a brand new life. I'm gonna have a family. I might be able to experience things that I couldn't experience here at the orphanage. I'm actually gonna be able to, live a normal life. And as you walk out to those gates, instead, you're faced with these monsters, these demons, and your reality literally gets broken in front of you because then you realize that there is no family, there is no parents here to adopt you. You're actually about to be eaten by monsters, and there's nothing you can do about it. You 8-year-old Hector can do nothing about it, and this is where your life ends. Horrifying. Imagine being in this
I would
situation.
never want to be in that situation. I think that to me sounds like such a scary situation. And I mean, I've seen
Who
those
who would
monsters. They're
who
insane.
who would want to? Who would be like, yeah, put me in that situation? You know, like, and guys, listening, the main characters do end up planning to escape, and by the end of season one, they do actually escape the orphanage, which is awesome because it's like they're avoiding immediate danger from them, because they're away from the mom lady, and so they can't be taken to the monsters. But like now, what are they gonna do now? You know, like this is the reason why I love the show so much. It's because, you know, at the beginning it was like once you find out what's actually happened, it's like, oh man, how are these kids gonna get out of this situation? And it's not like these kids could just fight their way through and just kill these guys. They can't go Super Saiyan. You know, they can't put their hands together and do a Rasengan. They can't do Shao Kahn Jutsu and just make a bunch of them and just beat the crap out of everybody. Like they don't have powers, right? They are very smart for kids. Some of them might even be at genius levels, but um, other than that, it's really these kids just trying to figure things out on their own. Using their heads, trying to be able to figure out this bogus, insane, just horrible situation they're in, and just trying to survive, trying to say like, no, I don't want this to be my end. This is not the fate that I want for myself. I don't want to be I don't want to be dead by 12 because that's like the oldest you get. Like once they're 12, they get sent off no matter what. Some of them get sent off earlier than others, but by 12, that's it, bro. That's as far as you can go. Imagine being dead by 12. That means I would have been dead more than a decade, Hector. Over a decade, I would have been
Yeah,
dead
I
by now.
mean it's kind of wild
It's
and like
craziness.
I don't know
It's insane.
if you touched on it, you might have actually, to be honest, but like it's all about like their intellectual level and just like how tender and juicy their brains are with the A5 Wagyu beef and shit like that.
Yeah, so pretty much is that these kids they go to school in the orphanage, try to make them as smart as they can because the smarter they are, the juicier the brain is. That's what the I was about to say the zombies. That's what the demons like. That's what the monsters enjoy the most out of the little kids. Their juicy brains, right? So that's why they're like, hey, study, study, study. Do good in school or whatever. That's why they put that emphasis on these kids. And imagine that, Hector. Imagine you're going to school, you're trying your best, to get straight A's, A plus plus, and all your things because you're thinking, hey, this is gonna help me for my future. This is gonna help me for when I'm out of school for my career. And next thing you know, you find out you're only doing this so just so a monster can eat your brains. I would be pissed. I would be so mad. I would be, I don't know, dude. Like literally, like and also, dude, like I was amazed. I would literally, if I was a kid, I would literally lose my mind. I would go crazy because imagine having such a reality check finding out that everything you know is a lie. And these kids being able to sort of keep it together was it's just it's insane. It's like, bro, I literally would have gone crazy. I would have been like, like I would have lost I would have lost all my marbles, knowing that everything that I lived through, everything that I've been told is a lie. It's just it's insane. And like and the thing, this is my last point that I'm gonna make about the show is that the show does this great thing of building the sense of hopelessness, of the sense of dread, of the sense of these kids are not going to make it. The show does a really, really great job of making you feel like that throughout the whole season. And then, like I said, at the end of the season one, which is only one season right now, in anime, they escape the orphanage, right? So they're on their own in the wilderness, or wherever they are. So you're like, okay, cool. So they got away from the first danger, which was the orphanage camp where they were being bred to to go die to be food for these creatures. But now there's a new problem for these kids. How are they going to survive out there on their own? And it's not just two, three, four, five kids. They have like a giant group. There's at least 20 of them out there on their own. And it's not just, these 12-year-olds. Like there's some of them, they're like five. There's some they're like six. They're like 3 years old. Like there's babies with them. How are they going to survive? How are they going to be able to make it through? There's just a bunch of kids out there in the wilderness on their own. On top of them just having no food, having no place to stay, no shelter, being out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. I'm pretty sure the demon creature guys are going to be looking for them. So it's like, so they're not going to really gonna have any time to really breathe and kind of relax and just be like, oh, let me just catch my breath, because at any turn, at any time, any turn of the corner, the demon creatures could be right there waiting for them to catch them. So it's like, yes, they got away from being killed, but now it's how are they going to survive just in general now that they're away from the orphanage. Now they're away from the just them being captured in that building. How are they going to survive? And how are they going to make sure to keep all these kids alive? How are they going to be able to provide food and protection and shelter? What happens if it rains? You know, and they all get wet and one of them gets sick, or one of them breaks their leg or something. Like there's just so much that just it gets added more to onto these kids, and it's just and you think like, oh yeah, man, they got out of the orphanage, they got away from the orphanage. Whoo we now I can relax. Nope. It's literally the opposite now, because now that sense of hopelessness, it's building even more. The sense of dread, it builds even more, because now it's just it's almost it's everything that the orphanage had, everything that the problem that was there for the orphanage. Now it's more, because now they don't have supplies. Now they don't have food. They have no place to live, and now they're being chased and hunted, like for reals, by these creatures and these monsters. It's just the atmosphere of the show is just top tier.
Oof. Rafa, let me tell you, those are some fantastic 6 Halloween shows that you recommended. Definitely,
Yeah. Whew.
definitely my favorite one is for sure the
Good
last
stuff.
one, because obviously I haven't watched any other one. But I mean, hey, Promise Neverland is definitely the way to go. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I do have a honorable mention and a dishonorable mention. I'm gonna do these really quickly now, Hector. I'm not gonna take too long on this one. They're both Junji Ito works. Okay, so you know how I love Junji Ito. I said it earlier. My honorable mention. It is called. Hopefully I say this right. It's called. I think Gyo or Gaio. It's Gyo. Okay. And it's not like a full series. I think it's like an OVA, but it's one of the stories that Junji Ito wrote, and again, it's adapted into like an anime short story. It's pretty much the creatures of the sea uh, show up and start taking over the land, pretty much. Just a really quick insight of what happens. It's really good. Have you ever seen? I'm gonna ask you this, Hector. Have you ever seen like maybe a clip on the internet or like on YouTube or on Twitter or something like that of like these like it's an anime clip of these kids like they're just like hanging out like in like a living room, and next thing you know a shark on like four legs breaks in through the door and
No.
starts attacking them. Have you ever seen that clip? Okay, it's a pretty it's a pretty popular clip that's out there on the internet, but it's from this special that I'm talking about, this short story. So yeah, it's a really good one. The story itself is just, top tier Junji Ito work, but if you want to see something that's animated, that's really good, that doesn't, it's not boo boo, check it out, man. Again, GYO, Gio, I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing it, but check it out, man. It's really, really good stuff. Um, and my dishonorable mention is I brought it up earlier today, but I'm gonna bring it up one more time. It is the Junji Ito collection, the anime series that came out a while ago, where it's about like 12 episodes, where they adapt a lot of the Junji Ito work, a lot of his short stories and things like that. I would only recommend this for those die-hard Junji Ito fans, just to be able to see, the a lot of his work in motion. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really capture the uncanny scariness, the weirdness, the 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 craziness, the unsettle, the way that Junji Ito's work really makes you feel like weird and like creepy and just like unsettling, things like that. This show really misses the mark on that. But if you are a fan of his work and you kind of you still kind of want to see it in motion, I would say check it out. But for everybody else, you can skip it. You can honestly skip it. Like I wouldn't recommend this for you, Hector. You know, uh, I watched it all, but towards the end, I was like, yeah, I can never watch this again, and I'll be okay. So that's that. Um, Speaking about Junji Ito, Hector, we're gonna check out this transition. I had you read a few of the Junji Ito's work for our Halloween special. Now I'm curious to see what you think. Okay. I want to see how you feel. I want to know how scared you were, if you were scared. I just want to hear your thoughts about what I recommended you to read from Junji Ito's work. So I want you to take it
Just
away, my
really
friend.
quickly, these Junji Ito parts, these three stories that you gave me, um, two of which were kind of short stories that
Yes.
apparently he created, just kind of like for his fan base, which is really really cool. When I was reading them, I was actually really surprised. I actually went into the comments and I was like reading them, and people were saying like, "Oh, I wish this one was kind of more in depth. I wish there was a continuation to this." And so for those two, it was actually the Enigma of Amigara Fault, which, funny enough, you've actually talked about before. Um,
Hmm.
this is the one for those of you that have been a part of the
Yes.
Bento Boxcast crew for quite a bit. It's the one where people, have their. It was like a fault line that happened, kind of like an earthquake, and then like a fault line kind of came out of it, which is the Amigara fault. And essentially, what happened was there's these holes, like these man-made holes that kind of appeared on the side of the fault. And people were only looking at one side. Well, what were you gonna say?
Well, they're not man-made. They're
Well, the
not
reason I say
man-made. They're
man-made is
man-shaped.
because the main character had a dream about like back in like caveman times, where the cavemen used to carve out um, like man-shaped holes as a form of punishment for like criminals. I don't know if you remember that part.
Right, but I do, but it's not really said.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
um yeah,
continue.
okay,
I'm
so
derailing
they
you.
weren't
I'm
man-made,
derailing
but
you.
they're
Continue.
man-shaped. And essentially everybody kind of has their own hole. Or at least that's what we come to find out because, for example, the other character in the story, actually a few of them, but the other character in particular, which is a female character, which I think we get a name for her, but I don't really recall. She saw on TV there was a brief moment where a hole was for her, so it was her hole. And it's essentially how people get fixated on the idea of, this hole's for me, it's calling me, like I need to go in there. And it kind of just showed people being so caught up in the moment and in the hole that they go into it. And as you continue further and further, deeper and deeper inside of it, um, you start to notice that your body starts to elongate, and in ways that shouldn't. And I'm not gonna lie, towards the end of the chapter or towards the end of the story, you see what kind of happens to people, and like their final deformed uh, state, and that gave me chills, dude. I was like, that's disgusting. They were like thin as paper, like it was
Yeah,
super gross. They were long, and like I guess the researchers didn't
they
look at it. Um, so like obviously you see the people from the other side, and the thing is, these holes you'd think, oh well, let me just go backwards, right? Like I'm sure that's possible. It's not. The way those holes are made, you have to just keep going forward, and that's it. And then something in your head also tells you just keep going straight, without noticing right away that your body starts to elongate and like bones start to break and things like that. So that story kind of made me uneasy a little bit, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. Um, I would say, truthfully, the one that kind of made me the uneasiest was Uzumaki. Um, and I only read 5 chapters. Now,
hmm
Rafa didn't give me a heads up that this was going to be a 20 chapter long book, but I tried my best to get as much through it because you would think, oh, a chapter probably is like 5 6 pages. No, it's like 15 to 20 pages each, um, in manga standards. So I read Uzumaki, and let me tell you that that one by far made me the most uneasiest, or uneasy, however that term goes. And the reason why is because of the spiral. Like I have that phobia of like those holes in hands and things like that. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So that came to mind when I
yeah.
saw those spirals, which is like the Uzumaki and things like that. So just the just the sheer pictures of the father going inside the tub and like becoming a spiral, and then anything afterwards where like he's in the IV, he becomes a centipede, he's haunting the mother, and the spiral haunts everybody. And like the fact that the girl's father goes into the river and like gets the the dirt or whatever and creates that into pots, and like the faces, and just, oh my god, just thinking about it, it's literally giving me chills on my spine. It's absolutely disgusting. um and I don't know, man. That one was kind of rough to read. I'm not gonna lie. That one really gave me chills, and like I said, I only got through 5 chapters, but I was not. I'm pretty sure it gets worse as like the chapters
Man,
go on. Um,
it gets crazier. It gets so much better. It gets
mhm.
crazier on just with the body horror itself. Just this is one very iconic
Mhm.
uh scene, I guess you can say. With dealing with a high school
Are you talking
girl.
about
I
where
don't know
like
if you
half of her head is
got to
missing
that
and she
point
like
yet.
sucks in the guy? Oh, okay.
No.
I would have to keep reading it. Yeah.
But
Okay.
you will you will know once you see it. Yeah. And then on top of that, like, so you're like wondering, like, man, what's happening here? Why is this happening? And then you kind of get an explanation towards the end, and let me tell you,
Really?
you don't expect it. The explanation they give you for the reason of what's all this happening, it comes out of left field, and you're just like, you just sit there, and you're just like, I was just when I got to it, I was just quiet. I didn't even have an answer. I couldn't even say anything. It was so freaked out and weird, and just like I don't even know, man. Like it's good, man. This is considered one of his,
Really?
if
Okay,
not
so
the one of
I'll
the
make the
best
promise
works
here
he's
on the
ever
Bento
made.
Boxcast that I will finish
Yeah,
reading it tonight, if not tomorrow, and then I'll get back to you on the next episode. And then lastly, it's One Man Army,
for sure.
which is another like one shot. I'm not gonna lie, this one was really interesting
I
to
love
read.
this one.
And I was kind of trying to be detective when it came to this one. Like, dude, who is this One Man Army, or Army of One rather? And when I saw the ending,
Army of One. Yep.
Rafa, when I kid you not, I was surprised when I saw the ending. And I actually had to kind of go into the comments and read some of the comments, and they were kind of saying like, "Oh, well, the reasoning for the Army of One is that whenever the music or the propaganda or whatever happens, it's because people that are within a group decide to start to suture each other together, or one of the people in the group starts to like sew the other people together and make like these crazy stuff." And like, dude, the part where the part that like really shocked me and kind of like caught me off guard was like when they're at the vigil for the guy, and like 5,000 plus people just disappear, and then out of nowhere they're like
Hmm.
this giant mural of like dead bodies sewn together in like different formations and stuff. And I was like, whoa, like this is some wild stuff. And like some of the way he drew Junji Ito drew some of the faces of the dead bodies, like that was creepy to me. It was realistic, it was
It's
creepy, and I was
so
like, oh, it
it's
gave me
so
chills
good.
reading that one.
It's so
Or actually not even chills reading it. It was just like just looking at the
it's
art was
so
just insane.
good. This
Like I'll give one thing, like Junji Ito was freaking fantastic at like making you uncomfortable with just images alone. Like it's this one specifically made me uncomfortable just because
yes,
like the sewing
exactly.
aspect of it all, and it kind of reminded me of like not fully, but like Saw. You know how like you get into like some crazy stuff with that movie. It kind of gave me that vibe of like, ugh, like yeah, man,
Yeah.
like people disappear and then reappear dead and sewn together in like these crazy positions and stuff. It's like it was insane. Um, yeah.
I this is one of my favorite stories, Junji Ito stories, just hands down, just because of the idea of like there's this noise, and it's not
Hmm.
just like a little small noise. It's like an air horn throughout the city. Throughout, you don't even know how far this goes. We don't know if this is just in the here in the city, in this one city, or this is all over the country, or is this worldwide. There's no explanation. That's the one thing about I love Junji Ito's work is that a lot of this, the horror, a lot of the crazy and just like out there, creepy and uncanniness of his work is that there's no, he doesn't explain why. It just is. This is happening and it's just gonna happen, and he's not gonna tell you why, he's not gonna tell you how. It's just that's just what's it just is. It's just happening. And you
Hmm.
just have to sit there and take it as what it is, right? So the noise, the propaganda air horn noise is going on, and people who listen to it kind of get into their head about, about being, the army of one and trying to be like having being together and stuff like that. And so you really don't know, is it one person, is it a few people doing this to a group of people, or is it the people who are they like volunteering themselves to do it themselves, so there's so much there's so much that you don't know about the story, about what's happening, but you know enough to freak you out, and that's what I love about
Yeah,
his work.
and I mean those were the three that you recommended to me, and although I didn't get through a ton of Uzumaki, I would say that's definitely the creepiest one that I read out of those three. Army of One is definitely the next one, and then, um, I mean, the
And
Enigma of
like,
Aigara Fault, it was okay. I mean, just seeing the final result of the people was definitely the part that freaked me out, but. I can see the appeal of this stuff, and also just as a little bonus for
right.
you guys, I know Rafa recommended it to me, and I don't want to spoil anything about it, but definitely check out Fashion Model as well. It's one that I believe also Junji Ito wrote, right, Rafa? Yeah.
It's all Junji Ito, yeah. All everything I recommended was Junji Ito's work. And Fashion Mall is a really good one too. Like I love a lot of his work. He has a lot of good stuff, man. Like I know you're not a big fan of horror, but I mean
Hmm.
hopefully give him a chance. Is really check out some of his other work because he has a lot of. When I was going through the list, I was like, oh, what about this? What about this? It was really hard for me to really just pick down to these three. But I kind of leaned more on some of the more of this popular stuff, you know. That's why I went with, Uzumaki and Armagar Fall and Army of One because those are more of his popular works for sure. More well-known works. Fashion Model is one that's also known, but it's not as known as like Uzumaki or stuff like that, right? So I kind of want you to get a sense of like one of his kind of like his more known work, more of his popular work, but he has other stuff that people don't know that well, or well, I mean, a lot of people know his work, but there's so much other people don't. There's other work that people don't really talk about that is as good or even could even be better. You know, I didn't recommend you the Grease one because
Yeah, I
you already
remember
kind of
that
seen
one.
the ending of that one. Remember we talked about it before. So I was like, I'm not gonna
The
recommend it. I'm
gist
not gonna
of
tell
it.
him to read that
Yeah.
one because he kind of already got the you already the gist of it. Yeah, you saw the punchline before hearing the jokes. I was like, what's the point of him having to read that one though? But I'm glad. I'm really happy that you kind of got the essence of what Junji Ito's work is. It is horror, it is scary, but it's more than just that. It's the feeling of uneasiness. It's that feeling of that creepy where your skin crawls. It's more than just like, oh, I'm scared. It's more of just being uncomfortable. That feeling of have you ever had that feeling of like, is someone in the room
Yeah.
with me? Is someone watching me? Is there something over there? That feel of like your skin crawling and just being creeped out and just you're not really scared, but like you don't feel comfortable in the room you're in. That is the magic of his work because that's every single story makes you feel that. It might not scare you completely, but it's gonna literally make you feel some type of way, and that's the best of the best work that he's done. So there's a reason why this man's beloved. Okay, it just if you do decide to jump in that rabbit hole, Hector, it only gets creepier and unsettling the more you go down. But
Good
it's
to
a
know.
fun
Good to
trip
know.
for sure. Yeah. So, whew, my God, so much spookiness. So this is the part where um we would
Yes,
go
this is
into
this
anime
would be
swap,
the ending
right,
segment.
Hector? This the ending something, but me and Hector, we were some bad boys this week. We were some knuckleheads, and we are unprepared for this week. Just believe it at that. We're very unprepared for this week for anime swap. So we're gonna bump it to next week. Okay. So the two shows that we recommended each other from last episode, we're gonna go ahead and do that next episode. Okay, guys. We apologize. Okay. It's all on us. It's our fault for that. But we are human. We make mistakes. But don't worry. We'll be ready for next episode. But really quickly now, just to let you guys know, this is more of the kind of closing things out here. We don't really have much else to really talk about because we kind of already went through everything pretty much. But next week we have a new segment coming out, so we kind of get into that right now. It is called Not So Anime. It is where we talk about things that are not anime. For example, as you guys heard earlier on this episode, Josue recommended us a K drama.
Oh, of course I
Yes,
remember
remember
that.
that? Remember that, Hector, right? Right. So next week we're gonna go ahead and talk about what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the 3 episode rule, like how we do with Anime Swap or any other time we have an anime recommendation. But this time we're gonna do it for this K drama he recommended to us. It was called
That's a good
King's. What
question.
was it called again?
King's Crown? I don't
Like
think that's what it is.
King something.
King's
No,
Avatar.
it wasn't King's Crown. It was King's Avatar. So, for you guys listening out there, next week you will hear our thoughts about King's Avatar in our new segment called Not So Anime, where we talk about everything that's actually not anime. So, that would be, I think that's going to go around the same time we do Anime Swap, or maybe before that. We'll see how that goes next week. But you'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully, see what we think about that. So me and Hector are going to be venturing something new that we have no idea about because I haven't seen a single minute of like K drama and stuff like that. I know Hector hasn't either. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, we also have the anime recommendation from Josue from the new Netflix anime, the one with dealing with Greek mythology, and that one's called Blood of Zeus. So we're also going to be doing the 3 episode rule discussion on that next week. And just to guys give you a little heads up, next week we are going to be talking about all the anime that we're watching of this season. All right. Um, we were going to talk about this today, but we bumped it for next week because there's our Halloween specials. We want to get a little bit spooky with it. So for next week, we are going to be talking about all the anime that we're watching this season with a 3 episode rule. What we're gonna keep, what we're gonna drop, so on and so forth. So next week it's gonna be packed to the brim, all the way packed. There's so much that we're going to talk about. The anime swap, the K drama, the recommendation from Josue, all the anime that we're watching right now. Do we give the 3 episode rule and see what we're dropping, what we're not dropping, what we're going to keep? A lot of stuff, and of course the news and the comments and just everything that we do, man. Next week is going to be packed to the brim, like I said, man. So I just want to say thanks so much for you guys for listening. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. Hopefully you enjoyed today's scary episode, today's spooky episode, our Halloween special. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed the recommendations that I gave you for some horror, some funny, fun horror, scary, spooky anime out there. Um, Hopefully hearing what Hector had to say, maybe you guys give Junji Ito a chance to read some of his work. Again, he's like top tier, like one of the best horror manga artists out there. Um, Man, what else can I say, man? Just thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember hit that like button. Comment down below if you guys want a shout out, and subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and hit the bell icon to get notified every single time we put up a video. You will get that notification on every Friday. So you start the weekend with a nice juicy episode of the Bento Boxcast. Again, if you want to hit us up, if you want to talk to us, go check us out on Twitter at Bento Boxcast. If not, you can you can go ahead and talk to Hector at Ultra V Man. You can talk to me at Me Talk Anime. Join the Discord, of course. Please don't forget. And
Yeah.
Hector, do you have
Final
anything to
shout
say
outs
to
are
the
definitely going to
people
be out
before
to the
we
Geek
head
Jar
out?
Boys over at Geek Jar 3000 on YouTube, as well as the 3ups Prints guys over at 3upprints.com. All those links are going to be down in the description below. And lastly, I do stream on Twitch and potentially on YouTube soon as well. So check me out on Ultra_VMan. We are literally 18 followers away from becoming affiliate on Twitch, so definitely we can start getting those subs in and things like that. So we're making strides here over at the Ultra V Man crew side of things. So hopefully you guys check me out. I'm on actually quite a bit nowadays, so the grind never stops. And that's pretty much about it for me, Rafa.
All right, for sure, man. As Hector said, man, get them to those 18 followers, man. Tell your mama, your cousin, your granddaddy, your brother, your dad. Get them to those 18, man. Get them those 18 followers, bro. Get them affiliated on Twitch. Come on, y'all. You can do it, man. Well, I believe in y'all. But anyways, thanks so much, Hector, for accompanying me
Thank
this
you,
on this
Rafa, for
very
holding me
scary
tight
episode
during this
of the
scary
Bento
time.
Boxcast. Oh, of course. Thank you, all the listeners out there. Hopefully, you guys had a great time, like I said. And if you guys are gonna go out and celebrate Halloween, please be careful. Please be safe. Okay, guys, because uh, just in general, be safe. But things are starting to get kind of wacky and crazy out there once again with uh,
An issue in the
a
world, yeah.
certain thing that's in the air, right? The same issue that's kind of been that pretty much ruined 2020. It's back at it again, and it's hitting us even harder this time. So please be careful. You do gotta go trick or treating and stuff like that. Please be careful, guys. Remember, keep your distance, right? Cover your faces, things like that, guys. All right, guys. That's it for me. That's it for Hector. Who's out of here?
Bye.
Bye bye.